Geometry number 256. What are cotangents, secants, and cosecants? This is going to be the last of my little trig introduction. And I just want to show you, okay, we've got this right triangle, and trigonometry is the study of triangles, right triangles. And you know that the long part here is the hypotenuse. Here's angle A. This is the side adjacent to A, and this is the side opposite to A, okay? Because it's on the opposite side of the triangle. So, what I wanted to show you is, when we see this, when you're first getting into trigonometry, you see things like this, and you're like, what is that? Okay, well, when you see tangent with the theta symbol, you read it as tangent of theta, or the tangent of an angle. When you see this, it is the secant of theta, or secant of an angle. This is cotangent of theta, or cotangent of an angle, and this is the cosecant of theta, or cosecant of an angle. Okay? Now, if you haven't watched my last couple of videos, you're going to be very confused. So you might want to backtrack and go back to maybe number 253 and move forward again, because we did sine and cosine, and I explained some of this. So the cotangent of theta is equal to 1 over the tangent of theta. That's when the tangent of theta is not equal to 0 degrees, okay? It's the same thing as the cosine of theta over the sine of theta, all right? Still confused? All right. The cotangent of an angle is the inverse of its tangent. The cotangent is known as the reciprocal of the tangent. Does that make more sense now? So, it is the adjacent side length over the opposite side length. Now, if you know, we have been working with sine ratios and tangent ratios, and the sine ratio is the opposite over hypotenuse, and the tangent is the opposite over adjacent. Okay, well, this is adjacent over opposite. It's flipped around from the tangent. It's the reciprocal of the tangent. See how tangent is opposite over adjacent? This is adjacent over opposite. It's the reciprocal of tangent, okay? The secant is 1 over the cosine of theta, all right? That's when the cosine of theta is not equal to 0, all right? The secant of theta is the reciprocal of the cosine of theta when it's not equal to 0. It's basically the hypotenuse over the length of the adjacent side. Okay, so you've got 1 over the adjacent side over the hypotenuse, which is equal to the hypotenuse over the length of the adjacent side. Okay? Okay? Now, last one, the cosecant is equal to 1 over sine of theta when the sine of theta is not equal to 0. All right? It is the reciprocal of sine theta, all right, which is the hypotenuse over the length of the opposite side. So this is the reciprocal of the sine ratio, okay? That's opposite over hypotenuse. This is hypotenuse over opposite. So if you've got 1 over the opposite over the hypotenuse, it's the hypotenuse over the opposite, okay? This is the reciprocal of the sine ratio. This is the reciprocal of cosine, and this is the reciprocal of tangent, all right? So if you go back a few videos and look at these, if you're really confused right now, you need to back up and go see my last few videos. It's not that hard to understand once you've taken the steps up in the layers of the knowledge to get to this point. So if you're confused, you've gone too far and you've got to back up. All right? Reciprocals. That's simple. They're just reciprocals. Okay? So that's it on trig. I'm not going to talk about trig anymore. I just wanted to give you a little dabble so that when you do get into it, you'll have a little bit of knowledge of it and it won't be a shock to your brain. We're going to continue talking about geometry, and I hope to see you there. Bye.